What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going over the brand new M&P 2.0 carry comp. Now this is Smith & Wesson's newest pistol, just dropped today, and I am very excited to be out testing it for you guys. We're going to be putting a ton of rounds through this. We're going to be talking about the features, what you might want this for, the overall reliability, and what I think of it. So today we're going to go out and shoot the first shots of it, and we'll see how it goes. Now this is an all metal frame gun, so it is very similar to the other metal frame guns which they have released recently, including the M&P Spec series. However, this one is in a nice tiny little package with a whole bunch of new slide cuts and a little bit different feature set. So we have the standard length slide, except it has a compensated barrel in it. You can see a single port comp on the top, and then slide cuts through the slide, as well as the new slide serrations on the slide, which work really well if you're going to run it from the front. Comes with a whole bunch of optics plates right out of the box. If you want to put an optic on it, you absolutely can. And we have here with the Trijicon RMR 2.0. You get new high definition tritium sights that glow in the dark with a blacked out rear, which is my preferred sighting setup. They also have the Combat U with serrations on the back, which is nice. We actually have cocking fins on the back that remind me a lot of an H&K, which I think is a really good feature, especially if you get your hands muddy and sweaty, bloody, that kind of thing. We have the Performance Center trigger, which is really nice. I don't know if I mentioned before that this is a Performance Center gun, and you get all of their tricked out features as well, including this very awesome competition style trigger, which I feel like my trigger finger scale here feels about 3.5 to 4 pounds, much lighter than your standard Glock trigger. We have an aluminum, I think, but metal frame, very lightweight, very similar in weight to the Spec series. It feels like a 28, 29 ounce gun, and it has standard specs that you would get on your M&P polymer frame, but this one is going to be a little bit more rigid, being as that it's an all metal frame, but you still do get the same palm swell grip inserts. You get a bunch of those in the box, and they are very easy to switch out. Now I do prefer these over the Glock, just simply because instead of the back strap, you get a side palm swell also, and you get a beaver tail option, which you do get with the Glock, but I think the Smith & Wesson does them a little bit better, and they're more comfortable for me, along with having that 1911 style grip angle that the M&P 2.0 is famous for, and the texture that it's famous for as well, being a little bit more aggressive than the Glock counterpart, allowing you to fit it in your hand and keep that in your hand under recoil just a little bit better. Comes with 2 magazines, all the grips and all the optics plates you want, plus the sights and the comp for a price that is pretty reasonable, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Now before we go, I do want to mention this gun was sent to us by Smith & Wesson, and it is a release, although we've done many of those, and we are absolutely truthful on whatever happens. You're going to see what happens today. We're going to shoot a couple hundred rounds through it. If it fails, and you'll see it here. No more wasting time. Let's go shoot the thing. So I'm so excited. This is the first shot, so I'm just going to shoot out this magazine. I had an already preloaded M&P magazine with some shoddy ammo, so I'm going to shoot it out of there to put blazer in it and then zero it. So a little out of order, but I get to feel the recoil and pulse, and we'll check and see how it feels in the hand. Pretty good. Not a perfect zero, but we got a lot of those. We're at like 45 yards. The comp helps, that's for sure. I really do like that all these new guns are coming out comp these days. It's like the tactical guys just found out comps work really well. So now we have Canics, we have Glocks, we have the Spec series for M&P, we have the carry comp, and then of course we have the SIG guns, which all run comps as well. Very cool. All right, so now we're gonna zero it here. We're at the 7-yard line. I got some Blazer Brass 115 and the world's brightest dot. Pulled that one hard myself, wow. I gotta say, this is not my finest shooting day. I'm tired and it's really hot and my neck's a little sore, but I feel like we're still shooting pretty well. Gun helps. If I was shooting a Kel-Tec, we'd be in a lot of trouble. A little low. That's a pretty good 3-round group. A little bit low of the bowl. Give her a couple of clicks up. Right in the bowl, that last one. We'll take that. This is my second one, then my third one. We're pretty close. I'm gonna throw it up 2 clicks and call it good. Now, one of the things I don't love about the M&P is going to be these plastic plates, but you can find extras, and it is nice that they come with it. But I did want to show you sort of the comparison between the 2 juggernauts of carry right now. We have the Glock 19, which is the old standard. This is the Gen 5 MOS FDE, and this is running around 600 bucks. And then we have the metal framed M&P, which is running about $9.99. So these are going to be a little bit more for sure, but you do get the metal frame. You get the carry comp, all the slide cuts, and this one has a much better trigger. And the recoil control on this is incredible. I will say this is arguably the lightest recoiling, like regular size handgun I've ever shot. Let me show you something here. Just found it in here on the dot, actually.
Get it! Get it, baby!
Alright, so a little bit more Blazer 115. We're back at the 50-yard line, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it goes pretty well. Getting a lot of reflection off my dot because I oiled the gun right before we shot it, and I have oil all over my dot, and I'm shooting right into the sun. So the first shot I shot at a dot that wasn't the dot.
Oh no! The sun flare?
Yeah, I was using the flare.
Back at 75.
Yeah, I figured 50 was a little too easy. I don't know how much we have in this mag. Like 5. I got another mag in my pocket.
Nice, babe.
Considering how I feel today, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Are some of those missing?
A couple, yeah.
I think my hands are shaking really bad, and I think I'm pulling the trigger low.
Got it.
Slow down a little bit. It sucks to slow down to make your hits, especially when you're like on film, but it does help. Sometimes it helps.
Got it. Low. It was going a little low.
Was it?
Yep.
Okay.
I could finally see where it was hitting.
I really think that has a lot to do. So like, I got neck problems every once in a while.
Yep.
And a lot of times my grip helps out my shitty trigger control.
Yep.
And when my left hand grip gets a little weak, sometimes I have a tendency to dip the gun down.
Yep.
And at like 15 yards, 25 yards, like distances most people shoot, you don't really notice those little bitty
minute changes.
Yeah, minute errors that you make. But when you're shooting a handgun unsupported at 75, shows you how much you suck.
Yeah, but I bet a lot of people have shoulder problems and things like that, so.
The thing I wanted to say before I shoot this 100 yards is this is like another one of these guns that came out this year in like a consecutive line of incredibly excellent guns. I mean, you had the SIG AXG that came out that's really, really impressive, that P365, and that's comped with a dope trigger and optics mount. And then you had the Canic TTI Combat that came out, and it's comped, optics mount, plates, awesome trigger. And now you have an M&P variety that came out with that. And you also have the new PDP Pro, right, that we were playing with. There's so many good guns that have come out now that are like basically race pistols in a like duty configuration. And man, I'm impressed to see how much better pistols can actually get, because I've been waiting for like the blend of like duty reliability with like competition features for so long. And there's a few companies out there that are nailing it, and I think this is going to be another one. I don't want this to be a review because it's just the first shots, but I'm a big Smith guy. I carry a Smith & Wesson Shield. Often or not, an M&P 9 is one of our home defense pistols. And I'm just impressed that it's just another company that's fallen in line with the comps and the dots and just making it so easy for people to shoot these guns now.
There you go. Got it.
I think I'm going a little off the left.
Yep. Or
I'm gonna
maybe
turn
not.
on my dot maybe. The sun's giving me some problems.
It is sunny as heck.
And my shitty trigger pull, wow.
I don't see it. Nice.
Dots suck for one reason in particular, and that's when you have really bad trigger control. You can see the thing like comet down to the bottom left. You're like, ah!
All right, Bubba, you're up.
All right.
Yep.
Yep.
What do you think? First impressions.
Well, it does, just getting my grip right and stuff definitely helps. So
Yep.
it doesn't bounce as much.
Yep.
That's it.
Nice. Overall impressions.
I actually like this a lot better than the other concealed ones that I've shot.
Okay.
But I think that's probably because it has a little bit bigger handle. It's bigger overall.
Yep.
Woo!
It does feel really good. I do like that. I'm coming around to the M&P texture. Huh. Chris cited this for himself. I should have cited it for me. I like it. It's really good. The recoil is not too bad. The aggressive texture does help it stick in my hand more so that it's not slippy. It's really hot out here, so you know, if your hands are sweaty, that texture really sticks into your hand. I like it.
So one of the things I want to comment on is Smith, Sig, and Canik, as I mentioned them earlier. they really do bring out a lot of features in guns and a lot of different options for people who like don't want to send guns in to have them worked on. Like the king of modularity used to be the Glock, because you buy this thing and you don't like the trigger, you don't like the sights, it comes with shitty plastic sights, an optics mount you want to get rid of. Most people do grip texturing on all that stuff, and you don't have to do any of that anymore. If you want a better gun, you can buy it right out of the factory. First Smith offering that did that, really in my mind, was the Spec series. But the one con I think of the Spec series is that they use the old school comps, which are great if you want to take them off and you don't want to run a comp, which is cool. But you can also just run a regular barrel if you don't want the comp barrel in this as well, and you don't have to take these set screws out and unscrew this thing. You never have to worry about it spinning around. And I'm just talking about the M&P Spec series. All comp guns that have this roll-in special style compensator do that. Whereas now guns like the Smith, they run the single port comp on top, which doesn't really reduce reliability. I mean, we just shot 200 rounds through it. We had no failures right out of the box. And I would expect that from duty guns like this. And on top of that, they give you a little recoil reduction, which is great. This one, I think, more than the SIG and the Canic, just simply by the nature of the M&Ps have less recoil than the SIG or the Canics to begin with. And Smith really outdid themselves with the trigger. And on top of that, you get the grip inserts, and you get a lot of other things that come with this gun that make this a considerable player in today's market, in my personal opinion. So if you want to get the standard M&P, you can get one of those. If you want to get a standard Glock, you can get one of those for like $500 or $600. But if you want to get a super upgraded one, well, Glock doesn't have an offering for that, but obviously Smith does, and then SIG and Canic and Walther does as well. Now, the $1,000 price point is a little more than I think a lot of people are going to want to spend, but that's absolutely fine, because this isn't meant for every single person. This is meant for a guy who's had an M&P a long time, and he wants something a little bit faster, a little bit better trigger, something that he can either compete with or shoot better on the range. Or let's say he's a guy who's a law enforcement officer or something, and he's shooting all the time to get better, and he wants a little reduction of recoil on the wrist. Maybe you're getting a little older, maybe you're looking for a dot. All of these are reasons why you might want to upgrade to a performance center version like this. Now, the aluminum frame is probably the only thing where I'm a little bit iffy on the gun so far, just simply because I love the aluminum frame, but I don't like that they don't texture the thing, and that was kind of my big gripe about the Spec series, and that's really my only gripe about this pistol. Everything else is pretty excellent, and if you consider the price point and the feature set you get, like if you got a standard M&P for $600, let's say, and you wanted to put a new Apex trigger in it, well, that's a couple $100. You want to get the comp, well, that's a couple $100. You want to change the sights, that's another $100. So you can see that basically just what you're getting is what you wanted the whole time, and you don't have to go out and do all the work. You just get it right out of the box. Now, this is not a review. I want to be clear about that. We're going to do the full 1,000 round review in a few months, and if you want to see a torture test on this, I wouldn't hate that. Just let me know in the comment section below if you want to see this versus maybe the two other guns that I mentioned, because I kind of already alluded that I wanted to do that anyway. So let me know what you guys want to see. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please stop by Eric Homeless Shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.